So the Germans are absolutely not stopping. They are just eating up all the small nations in the Balkan region. We've got, obviously, Central Russia in a huge mess. Japan might possibly lose either an alliance member or a lot of their own land. And, of course, North America is doing nothing. And I also should mention that the Italians, the biggest German ally, decided to vassalize Egypt in the last video, so that is really huge, because Italy was, I think, starting to really, I don't know, drown, what's the word? I don't know. I guess wash down? Wash down doesn't make any sense. They were just a very weak ally to the Germans. And actually, the German AI just stopped calling Italy into war. Now, I understand why the Germans wouldn't call in Italy to some of these smaller wars, because the Germans can handle it. However, that war that Germany had, that huge war that Germany had with Western Europe, actually, Italy cost them a lot of war score. And it actually would have been better without, they would have done a better job without Italy's help. So this is still continuing to strengthen the German military force since Italy decided to vassalize Egypt. And we might even see the Italians move into the Arabian Peninsula, possibly, even though they're allied to the Saudis. This will be a big point for the Italians to be able to jump off and to attack the British. The British, who are staying very quiet, they are kind of they are a great power for sure. The British are way stronger than I think I've ever seen the British before. They are holding on to these lands. They're extremely powerful, but their borders are being closed down on. We've got the Chinese starting to grab more and more land. We also see, obviously, the Italians moving in towards that Middle Eastern region as well. So it's going to be interesting. We still don't know the results of the Soviet and Chinese wars against Japan and their ally, but we will very soon. And it looks like China is going to be the big winner here, because they just are demolishing everything now. It's crazy how much a war can shift by just another nation getting involved. The Soviets got involved, and that right there just ruined everything that Japan had worked for. It's kind of crazy. So this war should end very soon. That is, of course, if the Japanese can still hold back the Chinese when it comes to their naval force. Yeah, it seems that way. Actually, I don't know. We don't know yet. That is a huge Chinese fleet right there. The Japanese are now reinforcing. They absolutely need to win this naval battle, and I don't think they will. I don't think they will. They're not going to move. Don't the Japanese have? Yeah, there's 108 ships. That would be detrimental to the Japanese Empire if they lose their fleet, first of all, as well as obviously if the Chinese land in Japanese mainland. But I don't think the Chinese AI would take Japanese land away, not from the islands at least. I seriously doubt that. I don't think China even cares about Japanese lands. They just want Manchukuo. Yeah. Now, the Soviets, on the other hand, yeah, I don't think that's the same case. Ooh, we've got Great Britain versus Ireland. Really? Okay. Some interesting conflicts still going on. Brazil has -18 war score with the Netherlands. Still have no idea why that is happening. China is at 20 war score. The Soviets at 9 over the Japanese, which they both declared not on the Japanese, but the Japanese ally. So, technically, we'll see. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. What did Germany take? Germany took a huge bite, a second, or is this like a second? This is like a second huge bite out of Eastern Europe. So they're continuing to just destroy this region. Nobody else is gaining aggressive expansion on them. Bulgaria is not very happy. I'm not sure there's going to be a... Let's see, is the whole region allied? Okay, so I don't think the Germans will be going to war with Romania anytime soon. Bulgaria is a possibility. Yugoslavia is definitely a possibility. Although the Germans like Ukraine. That's something to keep in mind. Macedonia is probably the best possibility. Germany still has yet to face Turkey. Not to say that Turkey is going to be okay. Also, what is this truce? When is this truce over? Oh, Italy. Okay, Italy will probably be going for the vassalization there, guaranteed by France. But yeah, Provence is allied to Italy. Wait a second. What is that? What is in a trade? Oh, they're in a trade league with Montenegro. Okay, Provence, you do your thing. You do your thing. Oh yeah, I forgot. I don't know why I forgot that, but yeah, that's right. Ireland has been broken up into many more provinces. Actually, how is the development in Ireland? I don't think we checked in on that. Let me go check that. Oh wow, yeah, these provinces are very well developed. I don't know why the British didn't attack a lot sooner. This is actually going to help Germany out technically. I mean, Ireland was one of the nations that was a part of that coalition. So if Great Britain ends up dominating, which I think they will, I don't know if they're going to completely eliminate Ireland though. It seems likely, but I'm not sure if they'd be able to do that. 98 war score already, and still no peace deals just yet out of Eastern Asia. So we're going to see about that. Also, so did Germany lose their alliance with Scandinavia? Oh yeah, we knew about that. That happened a long time ago. Scandinavia and France now. Look at this French alliance now is a little bit different. Still with the British. Actually, Scandinavia would be very interesting now. That would kind of change the. I know that Germany is obviously just, I don't know, becoming a global superpower, but definitely getting Scandinavia involved in the war would drastically change things. Remember, the biggest weakness the Germans have at the moment, and they still very much have, is their navy. Their navy's so bad because they don't have any provinces off the coast. Even now, as they can expand into the Balkan states, they still have no coastal provinces, and it's going to be a while before they do. Now, Italy, on the other hand, they do have a lot of coastal provinces. The problem with Italy is they don't have very many heavy ships. Well, they've got 22, but that's nothing, I think, compared to the massive British fleet. Oh my gosh, you only took, like, what, 2 provinces? You took 1 province. The British took 1 province. Why did you do that? There's so much, and that wasn't even the well-developed provinces. Well, we'll see if that war continues on. Ireland's going to need to get themselves an alliance member, but I don't know who it would be. Besides, actually, Germany. But remember, they don't like each other, so it's probably very unlikely. Yeah. Ireland's kind of screwed, unless, of course, the USA. That might be how the USA, I don't know, end up getting involved here. Still allied to Canada, Germany, and the Chinese. Truce with Mexico. Truce with Mexico. Why are they? Were they at war at some point? That's weird. Why is there a truce with Mexico? Wait a second. Shouldn't it tell us? I think I should be able to truce. No, it doesn't say why. Has a truce until November 2006. Interesting. There definitely wasn't a war that was broken out, I don't believe. They're guaranteeing the independence of Mexico. Wait, are they really? Oh, yeah. Okay, I was wondering about that. Interesting. Maybe that's why there's a truce. They have to keep their independence deal or something. I don't know. Okay, so yeah, the British war is over. We knew about that. And still nothing out of Eastern Asia. This is going on for a long time now. I imagine that what the Chinese are trying to do, they're attempting to do, is land on Japanese mainland. Thing is, though, it seems like the Japanese still have a naval superiority out here in the... is this the Korean Bay? It is the Korean Bay. Yes, Korea Bay. That's cool. I feel very excited that I actually got that right. That's very cool. How the Chinese force is doing. I don't think it's going to be very long until we see the Chinese and the British go at it. And actually, we already know how that scenario is going to play out because it's going to be the Soviets declaring war on Russia, and that's going to call China versus Great Britain. There's going to be a battle here fought. Thing is, though, you know what? Great Britain has a few regiments stationed in British India. Actually, quite a bit. I think they're pretty much gearing up, ready to go for that Chinese war whenever it does break out. Germany, once again, this time it's actually, oh, they're at war with France. Okay, so, this is, I don't think this is nearly I don't think we could even come close to classifying this as a world war. Maybe if China was involved, maybe if the Russians were, I don't know, together, not in these pieces. Who knows? But either way, I think the Germans... Actually, this is going to be interesting because I forgot Scandinavia was going to get called in this time. This is the first that Scandinavia has been at war with the Germans, and Scandinavia is only going to provide way more naval dominance, I think. Well, they've got 151 ships, but the British, I think, have a lot more. The thing about the British... Oh, here's like 300 ships. Yeah. So the Germans are probably going to get their fleet destroyed if they don't dock them. Which they're not docking them. They're actually going into the Baltic Sea, which is a very smart move by the AI. Because I do think that the Germans have a significant advantage in terms of their fleet size. Where'd they go? Hey, where'd you go? What happened? Oh, there they are. Yeah, so the Scandinavians are pushing their their ships back into port as soon as the Germans come by. Obviously, mainland France is going to get completely destroyed here. I'm surprised that Thailand versus Kedah. Is that Kedah? I think so. Brazil continuing to lose their war with the Dutch. And that is, I think it's because it's an imperialist war, and the Dutch do not have their capital. They're only getting 2 provinces in Latin America that the Dutch control. 24th of May. Let's see how this works out for the Germans. I think it should be just fine. This is the first time we're seeing German forces kind of move up through Danish lands, which is interesting. Obviously, they won't be able to cross these straits. Actually, they will. And they probably are going to now. The British are not technically protecting. They're not protecting the Scandinavian ships or the Baltic Sea at all. I don't know why. I mean, that might just be... Oh, see? Yep, they've landed. Let's see if the German AI is able to make it to, I guess, modern-day Sweden. If they get to modern-day Sweden, then that is going to be very, very bad. The French also have ships up this way. Most of France has already been almost completely occupied at this point, but they're only at 7 war score again. Blockades hurt. Blockades hurt really bad, I think. There's no other wars going on that's kind of distant, no? Yeah. Of course, Italian Somaliland is going to get crushed because pretty much the British and the French both control this entire region. I don't know how much the Egyptians are really going to be able to contribute that much. Oh, yeah, they've got some forces here, surprisingly enough. And they're going to be going after, I guess, the Jerusalem, Palestine, modern-day Palestine region. Well, it's kind of Gaza, too, which they already control. But, yes, Syria, modern-day Syria. But, yeah, there's no one really there protecting those lands. It doesn't matter. Either way, Italy's probably going to lose occupation, a lot of occupations here in Africa. But you never know. After France is fully occupied, which they are right now, then maybe the Germans will bring in reinforcements, even though I think the Germans are going to be pretty focused on Scandinavia, or maybe not. Or maybe not. Here are their ships, so I think they're going to try to force their regiments across the strait for now. Where the ships go. They're kind of patrolling the Baltic Sea. And they are allowing this. Okay, so here comes Scandinavia, and actually here come the Germans. So they're going to get a pretty big strait crossing for doing this. Oh my gosh. Just morale just tanked right when they... Why did it tank so hard? Just immediately. Well, I mean, it makes sense that the Germans have been constantly at war, so they're going to have pretty high morale, pretty high discipline. Actually, their discipline was about the same. So were their military tactics. So I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, so the Chinese pieced out. Let me go see what this looks like. What happened here in Eastern Asia? Ouch. Whoa. Whoa, the Chinese took a whole bunch. They, yeah, they didn't hold anything back. Also, how did Thailand do? I'm guessing Thailand took the lands. Yeah, it was just a 1 province minor, I think. Yeah, it was. Okay, well, Thailand is doing a little bit better. We'll see if more Southeast Asian wars break out. And also, the Chinese are going to have to wait to see where they go from here. Also, how are the Soviets doing? Soviets have quite a few occupations, so they might be able to take over some land themselves. Germans still only at 7 war score. It's crazy to me. And actually, now they're at 6. I think it's because they're losing... Because Italy's losing territory in Africa very quickly. So even though they have full control over France, because their ally is losing so much territory in Africa, that is definitely hurting them. The Germans have made it across to the southern tip of Scandinavia, and this is very, very bad, obviously, for this nation. That's extremely bad. They really don't have the forces here to stop the Germans from moving through. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that is going to be a big mess, pretty much. There's nothing else to say about that. So the Scandinavians might even lose land here too. We've seen the German AI. They've been pretty smart at, Panama versus who? Panama versus El Salvador. And they already have quite a bit of war score. There's Panama. Oh, they already destroyed most of El Salvador's regiments. Actually, no, they didn't. I see them coming. Here's a... Oh, they didn't... Yeah, I got confused by the flags there. Panama has a significant numbers advantage then. That's what's going on here. So they should be able to win this quite easily. Panama will come closer and closer to Mexico. How's Cuba doing in this whole situation? Just allied to Venezuela. So they'll be going to war with Brazil soon. That's Cuba, because I'm sure Brazil has... They need to go after the development in Venezuelan lands. There's so much here. Lots of green, where Brazil is not very well developed at all. See, that's going to be interesting to see Brazil become a global player, because right now they're so quiet. Brazil is someone... It's going to be fun to kind of introduce this new great power, because we need a new great power. Now that with the fall of Russia, there's definitely a few openings for a few different nations. Germany's still yet to peace out. Down to 5 war score. Wow. Once again, the British are showing... Actually, no, what the Germans just need to do... You know what I think might happen? What might happen? The Germans might lose this war really, really bad. Especially because now that now that Spain isn't involved anymore, Germany can't just move through Iberia to get to North Africa for reinforcements. They would have to actually utilize their fleets, but their fleet is so preoccupied with kind of controlling the Baltic Sea, which is smart, as well as the North Sea. Why haven't the British pushed the German fleet out? Either way, they're so preoccupied with the North. I think what will happen is the Germans will probably be forced to annul the alliance with Italy. At that point, that's actually going to be probably a blessing in disguise for the German AI. And they could do anything at that point because they won't be continually losing so much war score to all these Italian lands falling constantly. So how's Angola doing? Angola allied to Italy and China. This has been a very interesting campaign because it's been so drastically different for the main fact that there's just not as many nations, and so many more nations have so much more power, which makes the wars so much more massive. Great Britain, for instance, so powerful right now. Just unbelievably powerful. Most powerful we've ever seen them. So there really only makes a few major players in the world, but it makes these wars massive and global, where they take place on almost all different continents. So that's why, yeah, I actually, you know what? I think the Chinese might be gearing up for a war very soon. That could be a possibility. Or we'll see the Russians and the Soviets finally battle it out, but they still have a truce. Actually, they don't have a truce with each other, so at any point they can go after it. Soviets also took a lot of land from the Japanese, so the Japanese only really have a few provinces left, I guess, in Eastern Asia. Mainland Eastern Asia. Anyways, guys, I'm going to stop right there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.